Copyright strike again and again. YouTube strike again and again. Okay, I think you've got the idea. I cannot believe they are doing this again. They are selling a Gothic novel about obsession, abuse as a romantic one, like they did with Nosferatu in 2024. Not only this, I've seen a lot of posts on Instagram comparing the relationship we've seen in the Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. By the way, the monster is played by Jacob Elordi. What a year for Jacob Elordi, and what a year will be for Zendaya. They are comparing the relationship between the monster and Elizabeth in Frankenstein, Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, with the relationship they have Orlok and Ellen in the Nosferatu by Robert Eggers. The main problem is Robert and Lily Rose Depp, they sold Nosferatu like a love triangle story. But well, that's other video. We are going to talk about all the controversies surrounding the latest adaptation of the classical novel by one of the Bronte sisters, in this case Emily, Wuthering Heights. First controversy. The first controversy is stated on September of 2024 because it's when they announced the new adaptation of Wuthering Heights. You can see on screen I've made a short for TikTok and for YouTube. But why so much controversy about a new film adaptation of the classical novel of Emily Bronte? Because Catherine Earnshaw, or Cathy, was going to be played by Margot Robbie. Cathy is 18 or 19 in the novel, while Margot Robbie, when the film was 34. It's not about dadaism, it's about realism. And the role of Heathcliff was going to be played by Jacob Elordi, a Caucasian, a white man, while Heathcliff in the novel is a person of color. I'm not saying this as a racist person, it's because Brontes didn't specify the race of Heathcliff. It could be a black man, an Asian man, which is a little bit racist, to be fair. And of course, on September of 2024, there was already backlash. A tweet written on September 24 said, "It is not too late to yeet Margot and Jacob out of Wuthering Heights and cast real talent as Cathy and Heathcliff." Sorry if I mispronounced the name. And the user put a picture of Elle Fanning as her Cathy and Dev Patel as his Heathcliff. And I wrote, "Excuse me, the Aussies got talent too, of course. They are really, really good actor and actress." Another tweet, "No hate to Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi, but neither of them have enough psychological torture vibes to play Cathy and Heathcliff. Like a Wuthering Heights adaptation simply needs actors who are weirder." And Chloe replied to the previous Twitter saying, "This is ridiculous. Like Jacob Elordi has demonstrated his range," completely agree, "and he's still young and just getting started. Also, Margot Robbie, the same one who played Harley Quinn. You all are having pain with this BS takes." Completely agree. And well, Jacob Elordi is nominated for an Oscar, and probably he's going to win within 2-3 weeks. To give more context to the video, I added this picture about the realist portrayal of the characters of Wuthering Heights. And also I mentioned the last film adaptation by the great Andrea Arnold. The critics, the people, the Bronte's novel lovers, they said this is one of the most loyal portrayals of Bronte's characters. As Cathy, you've got Kaya Scodelario. Probably you know her if you are millennial from Skins, and Dev Patel was on Skins as well. I don't wanna sound narcissistic, but I've seen a lot of millennials complaining. I completely understand about the complaining about casting a white man portraying a non-white character. Okay, but, and I'm reading the tweet, years ago you ignored, like bitches, the best adaptation about the the classic novel from Brontes, directed by the great Andrea Arnold. I recommend you all her filmography. Now thank off and watch the new version. Because Andrea Arnold's film is from 2011. Generation said they were kids, but millennials no, we were in our 20s. So the millennials complaining about this adaptation, where were you when Andrea Arnold's film were out? Where? I completely understand all the backlash about the casting, a white man portraying a non-white man, Emerald Fennell, the director and the writer. Obviously, she adapted the novel, transforming such an intricate novel, such a complex novel, into a camp music video film. But after watching Salvan in 2023, I've got high hopes on Emerald Fennell's adaptation because she knows what she's doing. Let me remind you, Fennell studied English in Oxford. And if you watch Salvan, what she does with all the novels she based that film on, you can tell she knows what she's doing. By the way, I've got an essay about Salvan explaining, because a lot of people, they didn't really understand all the complexity of Salvan, so you've got it on this channel if you want to have a look. I truly believe Wuthering Heights is going to be for the Generation Z what Romeo and Juliet by Baz Luhrmann was for millennials and for the youngest seniors. And by the way, people consider Shakespeare's novel Romeo and Juliet, yes, romance of course, is practically is the base of what we know about romanticism, but they completely forget the topics, the themes about loyalty, friendship, families, hierarchy, revenge. Those themes are completely forgotten. They only focus on the tragic romance about two teenagers, and after practically 5 days, both families are destroyed. In 1996, when Romeo and Juliet hit the theaters, the cinemas, it was again a huge controversy because the purists said, "Oh my God, what he has done," meaning Baz Luhrmann, with Shakespeare classical novel, blah 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 blah, boycott. The film was called for boycott, but the consequences were the opposite and were so important because Luhrmann's adaptation of the classical novel of Shakespeare brought Shakespeare to the people who didn't even want to read Shakespeare because it was boring, and that has so much merit. Do you know how difficult it is to adapt Shakespeare and make it camp, make it 90s, all 90s vibes and aesthetic, like the youngsters say, like Generation Z says, and make it mainstream? That way, the people who weren't into the literature, into Shakespeare, maybe, okay, Leonardo DiCaprio, so young, so beautiful, Claire Danes. By the way, Claire Danes was only 17 on the film. It's so difficult. So that's why I think Wuthering Heights is going to be practically the same. I know the controversies, but if this means this film brings literature, Bronte's sister, all their novels, into a new generation, Generation Z and Generation Alpha, that's amazing. The announce of the casting of the film was partially forgotten during 2025 until the first trailer came out, and until one of the songs made by Charlie XCX start to sound in a lot of videos on TikTok. The song "Fall in Love Again and Again, Fall in Love." I've got a lot of videos using that song. Again, 2 months ago, the first unofficial trailers were out on YouTube, on social media, and again, people were speaking again about the film, the controversies. Personally, I don't think the film needs this PR stunt in order to create bad marketing, which is always good marketing, in order to be successful, because the movie is going to be a hit. You've got Emerald Fennells directing, you've got Jacob Elordi, you've got Margot Robbie. No need for these controversies, but just in case. I bet you, after the release, few days after, a lot of essays are going to be made on YouTube, all over social media, only speaking, analyzing the cinematography and the costume designer. Is amazing. Even if the dresses are a little bit anachronic for the novel set, because it's set in the late 17th century or the first years of the 18th century, Victorian era, but maybe it has a meaning. Maybe all the film is a creation in Kathy's mind, maybe. Second controversy, Margot Robbie's interview.
Towards the end of last year, Margot Robbie and her husband Tom had a serious talk about their marriage. It wasn't working between them, and with their son involved, they needed to either work it out or end it all. Margot Robbie has kept herself busy, especially in her new film with Jacob Elordi. Tom had to put up with Margot's hotel room being filled up with roses by Jacob, and Margot's newfound codependency with Jacob Elordi. This love affair between Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi is pushing Margot's husband Tom away, and now they're headed straight for divorce. So let's get into it.
By the way, I highly recommend you Sloan's channel if you wanna know not only the gossip, all the controversies, and practically he's exposing Hollywood since 3 years ago. So yes, the 21st of January, coincidentally after the trailers came on YouTube, Margot Robbie gave an interview to Vogue. Let's read some of the sentence from that Vogue interview. Quote unquote, "I found myself starting to look around to see where he was," meaning Jacob Elordi. "I was really unnerved and unmoored. I felt quite lost, like a kid without their blanket or something." Sarah Broad, Margot Robbie saying this scene with Jacob Elordi when he shielded her face from the rain in Wuthering Heights made her weak at the knees, and I totally get it. Of course, all the media mass was covering this. E! News, Margot Robbie details becoming codependent with Jacob Elordi while filming Wuthering Heights. More pearls, yes, it's like we say in Spain. That's why Rosalía sings La Perla. When a Spaniard said, "Woof, what a pearl," he or she threw, it's because the sentence, it has strong drama within it. Okay, let's read. Margot Robbie reveals Jacob Elordi filled her room with roses on Valentine's Day while they were shooting Wuthering Heights. If I recall well, they were shooting this film 4 months after Margot Robbie gave birth to her baby boy. Quote unquote, "You made my day, and as Heathcliff filled my room with roses, and it was so cute." I remember thinking, "Oh, he's probably a very good boyfriend." That's weird. It wasn't just the gesture of the roses, it was the thing written from Heathcliff and that little tombstone thing. And of course, all the memes came, let's read this, Margot Robbie's husband after another Jacob Elordi tweet about his wife. Actually, his wife speaking about Jacob. The Twitter X account best of Margot Robbie on the 23rd of January. Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi recall not liking shooting Wuthering Heights when they were not with each other. Elordi, there was this moment when she was off with Sassad for good knows how long. Robbie, and you were off with Alison Oliver. Alison Oliver, such an underrated actress who played Venetia Catton, Jacob Elordi's sister on Salvan. Alison Oliver should have gotten a nomination for portraying Venetia Catton in Salvan. I don't care what they said. Margot Robbie, and you were off with Alison Oliver, and I was like, this is just not right. Love them more than anything, but I was like, he's mine. This is the cover of the Vogue with that interview with all these pearls, and of course, a lot of people throwing Margot under the bus. Girl, what are you saying? What are you doing? You are married, you have a little baby boy with your husband. How is possible you are speaking about your colleague when you are married? Blah, 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 blah. Relax, everybody. This is a PR stunt. Like we saw in 2023 between Sydney Sweeney. No, now seriously, it's a pity because I really consider Sydney a really good actress. I don't know what's going on. 2023 with the promo of the movie Anyone But You is the movie, but we thought it was a PR stunt, but after 1 year the now ex Glenn Powell's girlfriend spoke about the affair Sydney and Glenn had. I've got a video about this. And the same tactic, the same PR stunt, we saw it last year with the promo of the movie, the sequel, The Naked Gun. I loved all the movies, I grew up with all the films, between Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson. The big, huge difference is we were all rooting between Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson being together, not like Glenn Powell having an affair with Sydney Sweeney when he was in a serious relationship with Gigi Paris, if I recall her name well, for 5 years, I think. This so-called performative and allegedly affairs, romance between colleagues, they are as old as Hollywood. 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 They are used in cinema, in music, to promote careers, films, CDs, projects. But I don't think, like I was saying before, I don't think this film needed it. Because you've got Margot Robbie. Margot Robbie came from Barbie, one of the greatest success in history. You've got Jacob Elordi. He's nominated for the Oscar and he got Frankenstein 1 month ago. You've got Emerald Fennell. He came from Saltburn. There's no need for this. Third controversy, Taj Mahal's necklace and Emily Bronte's sister bracelet. One of the latest tactics to promote a film is the main role portrayed by a female morphing, when they are promoting the film, morphing into the film, into the aesthetic. We saw it with Zendaya on Dune 2, we saw it with Margot Robbie in Barbie's promotion, and we are seeing on Margot Robbie's again with Wuthering Heights, and as well we are going to see a lot of essays with all Margot Robbie's dresses, all the looks, outfits promoting Wuthering Heights, but there are two elements that brought controversy as well. The Indian account on Instagram, the Bharat Post, wrote this post. Margot Robbie wears a 73-carat Taj Mahal necklace in premiere face backlash. And because I'm white, I'm Spaniard, I'm not precisely the best person speaking about colonialism, stealing from other countries. Let's see an Indian creator speaking about this.
Elizabeth Taylor's necklace? Excuse me? No. Okay, this was Margot Robbie's look for her new movie Wuthering Heights premiere. That is the Taj Mahal diamond, okay, which Emperor Shah Jahangir gave to Noor Jahan. Okay, this is not Elizabeth Taylor's necklace. She's just the last credited owner of it. The pendant is from the 1600s and it was a gift from Jahangir to Noor Jahan. The pendant has an inscription in Persian Nastaliq script that says love is everlasting and a date inscribed that says it was around 1627 to 1628. It was passed down from Jahangir to his son Shah Jahan, who gave it to his wife Mumtaz. Yes, this Mumtaz. Now, international media says that this stone made its way to Cartier in the mid-20th century. How did it make its way, especially in the 20th century? Anyway, in 1971, Cartier acquired this jewel and it was gifted to Elizabeth Taylor by her husband for her 40th birthday in 1972. And now it is part of her estate and given for hire to all these international celebrities. And it's not the first time Cartier has done this, okay? At last year's Met Gala, Diljit Dosanjh wanted to wear the Patiala necklace, also originally from India, but they did not allow it, even though they gave it to YouTube influencer Emma Chamberlain to wear it a year ago. So let's be clear, this is not about fashion. It's about who gets to wear Indian history and who gets erased from it.
So not only you are whitewashing all the history in India about being stolen and being robbed, the inscription on the necklace is written in Farsi, in Persian. With what is going on in Persia right now? Are you kidding me? And I'm saying Persia just in case, and you know what's going on if I'm saying Persia. So you need to be tone deaf and living in your bubble of privilege and entitlement, because what the heck? And let's read, because this is even creepy. Margot Robbie wears replica, hopefully, of Charlotte Bronte's bracelet made of hair. Margot wore a replica of a bracelet once made of the writer's own hair. The original piece was owned by Bronte's sister Charlotte and made from Emily and Anne Bronte's hair. This was a common thing on the Victoria era. Please, British people, let me know, educate me, because I find this very creepy. It's giving, like the youth says, Kim Kardashian, wearing, but sadly that was the original Marilyn Monroe's dress, if I am not wrong, on the Met Gala.
Margot Robbie is wearing Charlotte Bronte's actual mourning bracelet, which contains strands of Emily and Anne's hair, to the Wuthering Heights premiere in London today. This is a crazy pull from her stylist. Like, I don't know how they did this. And to be so honest, I don't even know if it's the real thing, because Vogue reported that it was a replica, whereas Margot's stylist just posted a photo of the bracelet saying the bracelet of Charlotte, and then she showed up in it. In the article, they said that this is a replica of the original mourning bracelet, which has the amethyst dangled from the hair woven bracelet. And if you look at Margot's versus this photo of the actual one, like, they look pretty identical. It also looks weathered, like it doesn't look like it was made new as a replica for this event. So based on these photos, I think that it actually is the real one, but I don't know. And I do really trust Vogue as a source, especially when it comes to fashion and styling. So if they're reporting it as a replica, it could be a replica that was made to look weathered, but I don't know, it looks too real. What are your thoughts, and do you think this is the real one or not?
In this TikTok video, this person brought the actual bracelet in the Bronte's Personage Museum. Meaning the real bracelet is in the Bronte's Personage Museum and is made by her as well. The last update we've got is the reviews from the experts, and the critiques are being mixed. This is the outro of the video, so what are your thoughts? Are you going to watch the film? You are going to boycott the film? You don't have any hype? You don't have any hopes? What are your emotions about this film? I have high hopes, but I won't go to the cinema to watch the film. Sorry.